Hi students, welcome to this video we are in module number 1 ecosystem, and this is the third video that you are watching under this module. And in this video I am going to cover biodiversity, types of biodiversity and hotspots. So in the previous video we have seen the other side, what is ecosystems, types of ecosystems, and food chain. So all those things that we have seen in my previous video, and in this video I'm going to focus on what is all about this biodiversity and what are the different types of biodiversities are there, and what do you mean by hotspots, and especially that we come across day-to-day life nowadays, hotspots. So that we are going to cover in this video. So let us go to the first slide. So this is all about the biodiversity. The first and foremost, before entering into this, we shall know what is the meaning of this biodiversity. So I will split this particular word into two: bio and diversity. So what is the meaning of bio? Bio is nothing but life, and diversity means variety. That means in this ecosystem, so variety of life present or exist in this ecosystem. So that is nothing but biodiversity. If you can look at it, how many, plenty of species, some millions and millions of species are present in this ecosystem. So all these things in a variety of life, organisms, living organisms, non-living organisms, different species, millions of species. Some are still existed, and some already what you call completed end. It has come to an end, extinct as we call it as. So those kind of some species we might have seen the Discovery Channel or in some movies, but nowadays we cannot see those kind of species. It has come to an, it is extinct. So so these are the biodiversities, that variety of life, which is existed in this ecosystem is nothing but biodiversity. Now, what is the definition, right? Actual definition of this biodiversity is like, as I told you, that and variety of, it can be plants, or it can be animals, or it can be any other organisms that exist in an ecosystem is known as biodiversity. Right, it is a measure of variety of organisms present in the different ecosystems. It is a variety of organisms that measure, that is nothing but biodiversity. So how does that richness come? That biodiversity, how does that richness come? It depends on climatic conditions and the area of a region. So there comes the richness of the biodiversity. And so biodiversity is a result of 3.5 billion years of evolution. So it is having a 3. Billion, not only billion, millions, a billion years of evolution. Now coming to this types of biodiversity. So three different types. One is genetic diversity, and species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. So as I told you that biodiversity, so different variety of life which is existed, so that can be divided. This biodiversities can be divided into three. Genetic. What is a genetic diversity? It is the differences in DNA among individuals. That way the species are divided. So we humans have different DNA. Animals and different animals will have different DNAs. So based on the DNA, this what you call life, that biodiversity is divided, classified. The next one is species diversity, that variety of a species in a given area, in a particular area, for example in a particular place where different species are available, the variety of species are available. For example, in India, certain amount of species are available, whereas in the case of other countries, they will have different types of species are available in that particular area. What are the different varieties of species are available? Based on that, this biodiversity is classified. Next one is ecosystem diversity, variety of habitats, ecosystems, communities. So based on these, ecosystem diversity will happen. So these are the different types of biodiversity. It can be classified into three different types: genetic, species, and ecosystem. Next, moving on to this, now we'll see what is that hotspots, especially biodiversity hotspots. And before telling that particular hotspots, I'll just want to say that nowadays, as we are in the corona pandemic, and in the beginning of this corona, so where this particular word, that hotspot, is being heard every time. Hotspots. So what exactly the hotspot? So for example, a particular area is coming under hotspot. What does it mean? Suppose if they find one case, a corona case, so what do? So they consider that particular area is as a hotspot. Suppose three, four or five cases identify in that particular area, so that particular area will be considered as hotspots. So lots of care should be taken, and there should not be movement of people, so there should not be density. So all these things will they will take care, so they will intensively they check, so each and every movement. So that is nothing but hotspots. So in the same way, here the biodiversity hotspots, a biodiversity hotspot is a region with a high level of endemic species that has experienced great habitat loss. So the biodiversity, so what happens is one species will be available today and that species will not be available tomorrow. So that kind of habitat loss takes place in the biodiversity hotspot. So while hotspots are spread all over the world, the majority are forest areas and most are located in the tropics. Okay. And what are those high biodiversity areas that is given here? Colombia is characterized by high biodiversity with the highest rate of species by area unit worldwide. Just remember this. You will come across in the object type questions. So which is the place where high biodiversity as it is characterized as? So Colombia we can say. So it has the largest number of endemics species that are not found naturally anywhere else of any country. Okay, about 10% of the species of the earth can be found in Colombia. So now coming to this criteria for a hotspot. So what are the criteria that we have to follow or we understand when it is categorized as a hotspot? Number one is the number of species present and the number of those species that exist exclusively in the given ecosystem and the degree of threat they face. Okay, since biodiversity is a hotspot, if a biodiversity is considered as a hotspot, what does it mean? So for example, some species are available slowly when the days go on, so that the species what you call the number is coming to an end. So what do? So what are the remaining species are available, the numbers are available in that particular species, they will take care and they will intensively check, and so each and every movement, and they take care of that particular species, they will provide more amount of attention. So that is nothing but biodiversity hotspots. So they make sure that that species should not come to an end, it should not extinct. So that kind of care that they take, so that area is considered as hotspot. Okay, so in this image what I have shown here is, so what are the different countries where it is considered as a hotspot? You can see that red color where and all, so those areas are considered as a hotspot. Okay, where that slowly that species are that it is going to be extinct. So that is nothing but the biodiversity hotspot. Now let us see what are the threats to biodiversity. So one is a climate change, next habitat loss and degradation, next one is pollution, next invasive species or over exploitation, and other potential threats. So sometimes even we are also responsible for certain things like pollution, climate change, all these things. So we are also responsible for this hotspots, like a threat to biodiversity, right? Already so many species that were earlier existed, for example the Jurassic Park dinosaurs and what we see in the Jurassic Park movie. So slowly the dinosaurs species has come to an end. So what are those threats? All these threats are will come into picture for the biodiversity. right? So now strategies for biodiversity conservation. So there's some of the things that you can check for your reference. Just I read out: biodiversity use, conservation education, integrated healthcare, and agroforestry, afforestation, cottage industry, communities involvement in biodiversity conservation, improved hearth for cooking, traditional agro ecosystems and biodiversity conservation, keystone species and conservation. So these are the strategies that we can follow for this biodiversity conservation. Okay, so these are the things that I have covered in this first module, ecosystem. So thank you so much for watching this video.